I always believed that loyalty was simple. You either had it or you didn't. I never imagined that the people closest to me would slowly turn my life into a lie while smiling at my face every single day. My name is Ethan. I'm 35 years old, and for most of my life, I was known as the reliable one. The guy who worked hard, showed up on time, and trusted people easily. Especially family. I had been married to my wife Laura for 7 years. We met in our mid-20s, built our careers together, and bought a small house in a quiet neighborhood. From the outside, we looked perfect. No drama. No chaos. Just stability. My younger brother Mark lived with us temporarily. He had gone through a rough breakup and lost his job, so I offered him our guest room until he got back on his feet. Laura supported the idea. She said family should always help family. At first, everything was normal. Mark slept late, searched for jobs, and helped around the house. Laura worked from home 3 days a week. I worked long hours at the office. Life moved on quietly. Then the atmosphere started changing. Slowly, almost invisibly. Laura began dressing differently on the days she stayed home. More effort. More makeup. When I teased her about it, she laughed and said she was doing it for herself. Mark became more confident. Too confident. He joked more. He lingered in conversations. He started cooking meals, something he had never done before. I didn't connect the dots. Why would I? A few months later, Laura started suggesting I take overtime shifts. She said extra money would help us travel more. I agreed. I trusted her completely. That's when the late nights began. Sometimes I'd come home past 10 p.m. The house would be quiet, but I'd notice little things. 2 coffee mugs in the sink. A movie paused halfway through. Laura would say she watched it alone. Mark would say he was asleep early. I believed them. One evening, I came home unexpectedly early. As I opened the door, I heard laughter. Not from the TV, but real laughter. The kind you don't fake. When I walked into the living room, Laura and Mark jumped apart like they had been caught doing something wrong. They smiled too quickly. Mark said, "We were just talking." Laura said, "You're early." Something felt wrong, but again, I ignored it. Weeks passed. Laura grew distant. Less affection. Less conversation. Mark avoided eye contact with me. When I asked if everything was okay, both said yes. The truth was slowly tightening around me, and I didn't even realize it. One night I couldn't sleep. I got up to get water around 2 a.m. As I walked past the guest room, I noticed the door was open. The bed was empty. I walked toward our bedroom. Laura wasn't there either. My heart started pounding. I followed faint whispers to the laundry room. The door was half closed. Light spilled through the crack. Inside, Laura and Mark were sitting close together. Too close. Her hand was on his arm. His voice was low, intimate. They froze when they saw me. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Laura said my name softly, like that would fix everything. I walked away without saying a word. The next morning, Laura cried. She said it just happened. Mark said he never meant to hurt me. They both said it was a mistake. But mistakes don't last months. Mistakes don't hide. Mistakes don't ask you to work overtime so they can spend time together. I told Mark to leave that day. He packed silently. Laura watched, shaking. When he left, something in our marriage left with him. I tried to save it. Marriage counseling, honest conversations, promises. But every time I looked at Laura, I saw the betrayal. Every time my phone rang late at night, my chest tightened. The worst part wasn't the affair. It was realizing that while I was working to build our future, they were living a secret life in my own home. One evening, Laura sat across from me and said, "I think we need space." That was the moment I understood. She wasn't asking for space from pain. She was asking for freedom. We divorced quietly. No shouting. No drama. Just papers and silence. Mark tried to reconnect months later. He said he missed his brother. I never replied. Today, my house feels empty, but honest. No lies, no whispers behind closed doors. I've learned that betrayal doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from people who know exactly how to hurt you. So let me ask you something. Is betrayal worse when it comes from love or when it comes from family?